Welcome to Marvelicious Toys, hosted by Justin and his amazing friends, Arnie and Marjorie. We bring you news and reviews of Marvel toys, statues, and more, because not all Marvel collections can be bagged and boarded. They're not just toys, they're Marvelicious.
I did want to give a review, though, to a new item that I got in the mail this week. We had talked about this considerably when it first went on pre-order from Sideshow Collectibles. I got the J. Scott Campbell collection, Mary Jane Comiquette.
Ooh.
Now, for those who may be newer listeners and haven't following us since last summer, thanks to a minor scratch on my Vision Premium format, I did get this for $50 off. And this is the piece where, at Wizard World last August, J. Scott Campbell was selling his original pencil sketches of this statue, as well as Baroness and Wonder Woman on the same page. I don't know what he was doodling. But
it's what artists doodle when you do multiple licenses.
But it has two angles on that doodle of this original Mary Jane. And so, I mean, if I bought the original art, I have to have the statue, right?
I think so. I thought so then, and I stand by it now.
And so it has arrived now, and my very first reaction when I saw it was shock, because I knew it was coming. I get the UPS notices. Sideshow always requires a signature for anything over $200, and I don't know that they sell anything under $200. So I knew it was coming, and I got home from work a little bit early that day to meet the UPS guy. And I hear the doorbell ring, and I go and I expect a normal Sideshow-sized box, which is usually 2.5 feet tall and then maybe a foot wide and a foot deep. And I open the door, and he's just holding this little football-sized box. And I go, well, okay, it says Sideshow on it, and I sign, and I'm like, that is a lot smaller than I expected, because I have a lot of Sideshow Comiquettes, and these are a smaller scale than their premium format and such, but I just wasn't expecting something that you could run into the end zone carrying.
It's your cleaning kit.
Now, admittedly, she is kneeling and everything. When I got her out of the box, she didn't feel tiny. It was just the box was so much smaller. I'm currently organizing my Sideshow empties, and so I'm dealing with a lot of their boxes. This is by far the smallest maquette box, but the maquette itself does not feel small. It actually looks... it's a good size.
That's what they tell you. It feels like it doesn't need, just looking at the pose, it doesn't need a ton of extraneous packaging to keep it whole. Like some of the other ones where their arms are flailing or they're striding. She's pretty well self-contained on this ottoman. And
you make a good point there. Perhaps one of the reasons the box is smallish is because it's single piece. And now that you mention that, it is about the size of a Bowen box, which are also usually single piece, or at most you just insert them to the base. But when I opened it up, this was all one unit. There's no insert her knees into the little square pegs or anything. It's just a single piece.
I was not aware that was an ottoman on the bottom. I just thought it was a pedestal. I'm not kidding. I just thought it was a base.
Yeah, you see it's got the little casters at the bottom.
I see that now, but I did not think that's what it was.
Yeah, she's just chilling in her living room reading some magazines and came across Spidey's suit and decided to stretch it over her shoulders and push the girls out and look in the mirror. That's what girls do. Girls do that all the time.
Yes, we do.
Well, I gotta say I like the statue, though. I mean, there is a lot of detail here. They put full covers on the magazines and newspapers around her. One of the newspapers, of course, the Daily Bugle, and it says Spider-Man frightens citizens in sit, and then it goes under her knee. It's got a fashion magazine, a style magazine. So they really put a lot of detail into that ottoman base to make it look like something that you'd actually have in a messy New York apartment.
So are you saying she's not a good housekeeper?
I'm just saying you got to use your ottoman as your also magazine table.
Yeah.
And the Spider-Man shirt, I don't know that I necessarily knew ahead of time or had paid a whole lot of attention to exactly what was going on with the Spider-Man shirt, but I have a few Mary Jane statues, and there's always some Spider-Man iconography there. They're not confident to let Mary Jane stand alone.
Well, otherwise it'd just be some random girl, Arnie, because none of these look alike. So if you did not have any bit of Spider-Man something in there, it would just be a weird girl on an ottoman, or this weird girl doing laundry, or...
Yeah, and that's not even her fault. I mean, you're not going to get just a James Garfield statue. I mean, he's going to be in a Spider-Man suit. You know, it's just, you got to have something there to let people know what it is, give you a hint.
True. But I do kind of like how she's just kind of stretching it over and being a little sly about it. I mean, she does know his identity, whether or not they're married or not. And they really did a good sculpting job because it looks like it's stretched down to her thumbs, and you can see the thumbs poking, and it's like the spandex of the costume is stretched taut around the thumb.
That is really cool, and the webbing and the armpits are all there.
Now, the armpit webbing is a little bit odd because it's hand-painted on, and so the lines aren't entirely clean.
Oh, so they're painted onto her body and arm and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, looking at this, I'm kind of wondering if this has changed from the last time we saw it, because I want to say that I remember seeing some whale tail underwear going on.
Well, funny you mention that, because Arnie's got the original art, and it appears there's a little drawing of a whale tail.
There's a line that hints that there would be whale tail, and when I look at the statue, I noticed there is like a sculpted line there, a little bit of a ridge that makes it look like there's a line there where you could paint a G-string.
Ah.
And so I do have to wonder if that was the full intent. I know that the G-string caused some controversy with Sideshow's previous maquette, and so maybe they thought they were going to do it and at the last minute went no, but I agree with you that it looks like there could be one. But from the Sideshow images, I even went to other websites and looked, because Sideshow is known to sneakily update their own ones. I don't find any pre-release images that show G-string. They just show a little bit of pelvic sculpting.
Uh-huh.
But was it done as an homage to a different Mary Jane statue that caused all the hubbub?
I doubt if they're making homages to their own statues.
Well, because the other one got mentioned on major mainstream news outlets.
For a number of reasons. But on this one, I think they did a great job with the sculpting. I mean, she's barefoot, and they sculpted toes and also added some different coloring to the bottom of her foot, so it looks like she's been walking around dirty hardwood floors.
You're just really going to rag on her housekeeping skills.
They're not filthy feet.
No, they just look like they're a little dirty. She ran out to the street to get her newspaper. And they sculpted the Spider-Man outfit separate from her back. You can actually see through where it's just hanging down. There's nothing absolutely amazing in the form of sculpt. There's no wispy hair or anything, which also makes me think it's a little bit less fragile than a lot of my statues.
So nothing amazing, but is there anything spectacular?
They did a spectacular interpretation of Campbell's art. I mean, this looks just like a Campbell cover with the very angular eyes and the very emaciatedly thin waist.
Unrealistic body proportions.
But realistic holes in your jeans.
Yes. Her arms are way too long, too.
He makes people that look like they were on silly putty and then stretched vertically.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really nice statue. The detail they did, the paint they did, her shirt has a really nice wash to it. And while I definitely say that this is sexy along the lines of like a Bishojo, she's got quite a bit of cleavage hanging out, it does not feel overtly sexualized or pervy. It just feels like a little bit of a Sports Illustrated or maybe a more modest Maxim.
Yeah, I would go with that.
But I'm definitely happy to have this. I've ordered the Gwen Stacy, I've ordered the Spider-Man, and I'm looking forward. They've announced they're going to be doing a Black Cat, too, all in the J. Scott Campbell collection. Now, if you want this statue, I recommend it, but I also recommend you may want to wait a little bit. As we mentioned before on the show, they're making 6,000 of these statues.
Why did you hurry and buy one?
Because I ordered before they announced the edition size.
That's a lot.
That is a hell of a lot.
I believe it might be a metric ton.
Could very well be a buttload.
They're doing 4,000 of the Gwen Stacy. Now, maybe these are almost sold out, And J. Scott Campbell is just that popular because he just did a Black Widow variant cover where the issue of the comic just for that cover goes for $80 to $100 on eBay.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So he is one of the most popular artists doing Marvel stuff these days. All he pretty much does is covers, and just variant covers at that. Maybe he is just that popular. But at 6,000 pieces, had I not pre-ordered the day it went on sale, I definitely see this as a markdown come the holidays when Midtown Comics is trying to clear out their extra stock that they have there. And there's no exclusive edition either. There's no print. This really cries out to come with a print, a J. Scott Campbell print of this art, in addition to the statue as an exclusive. But it's just all the J. Scott Campbell statues are regular editions so far.
Oh, lucky you got the print. You got the original.
Yeah, the original. I'm actually having an artist ink it and then color it so I can make my own print, damn it!
Nice.
Strangely, of the ones they've announced, it makes me think the pre-sales are going down. The Gwen Stacy was 4,000. Spider-Man, you know, Spider-Man, the one who stars in the comic, only 3,500 of him.
So why did they think more people will want Mary Jane? I guess just for the artist.
She's huge in Japan.
Belgium. Big in Belgium.